Hi everyone. In the last class, we have seen the Memorandum of Association. So, the next important document in a company is Articles of Association. So, Articles of Associations are the rules regarding the internal management of the company. So, the rules are subsidiary to the Memorandum of Association and hence it should not contradict or exceed anything stated in the Memorandum of Association. So, Articles of Association is a subsidiary to Memorandum of Association. The articles generally contains the following matters. So many are there. I'll read out some. Exclusion wholly or partly of the table F. Then adoption of preliminary contracts. We will see in detail what is a preliminary contract. The number and value of shares, issue of preference shares, then allotment of shares, calls on shares, lien on shares, transfer and transmission of shares, nomination, forfeiture of shares, alteration of capital, etc. So there are many things. Hope you can see this. Okay, no need to go in detail. These are the things which are in the Articles of Association. Now we are going to see what is qualification shares. So to ensure that the directors have some stake in the proposed company, the articles usually have a provision requiring them to buy a certain number of shares. Okay, so the directors should buy a certain number of shares in the company. They have to pay for these shares before the company obtains certificate of commencement of business. So these are called qualification shares. So I'll repeat, the directors must buy some shares in the company and they have to pay for these shares before getting the certificate of commencement of business. This is called qualification shares. Now we are going to see what is preliminary contracts. So it is also known as pre-incorporation contracts. So during the promotion of the company, promoters enter into certain contracts with third parties on behalf of the company. These are called preliminary contracts or pre-incorporation contracts. So on behalf of the company, before its incorporation, the promoters will enter into some contracts with the third parties, that is on behalf of the company. On behalf of the company means for the company. Okay, so promoters however remain personally liable to third parties for these contracts. Okay, now comes incorporation. So next stage is incorporation. After completing all these formalities, okay, there are so many formalities in preparation of different documents, then promoters make an application for the incorporation of the company. Okay, this application is to be filed with the registrar of the companies for the of the state in which they are planning to establish the registered office. Hope you can read this one. The application for the registration must be accompanied with certain documents which above we have already seen. Okay, so the list you can see here: memorandum of association, which is duly signed, stamped, and the witness. Next is articles of association, which is duly signed and witnessed, as in the case of memorandum of association. Next come the written consent of the proposed directors. Okay, written consent of the proposed directors. Then the agreement in which the proposed managing director, then manager or whole-time director, then a copy of the registrar's letter approving the name of the company, a copy of the registrar's letter approving the name of the company. Okay, then statutory declaration affirming that all legal requirements for the registration have been complete with. Then they must be duly signed. Then the notice about the exact address of the registered office. Then the last point, eighth one, is documentary evidence of payment of registration fees. So all these are the things which is required for the incorporation or registration. Next one is director identification number or DIN. Short form is DIN. Every individual intending to be appointed as director of the company shall make an application for allotment of director identification number, okay, to the central government in prescribed form along with fees. There are also some fees should be there. The central government shall allot a director identification number to an application within 1 month from the receipt of the application. Okay. No individual who has already been allotted a DIN, that is director identification number, shall apply for, obtain or possess another director identification number. So one person will get only one DIN. So now comes the capital subscription. So a public company can raise the required funds from the public by means of issue of securities, okay, shares or debentures. So for doing the same, it has to issue a prospectus. We have already seen what is a prospectus. It is the invitation to the public to subscribe the shares or debentures from the public company. Only public company can issue prospectus, which is an invitation to the public subscribe the capital of the company. Okay, now there are many steps which has to follow by the company for the capital subscription. First is SEBI approval. So what is SEBI? Securities and Exchange Board of India, which is the regulatory authority in our country, has issued guidelines for the disclosure of information and investor protection. Okay, next is second one is filing of prospectus. A copy of the prospectus or statement in lieu of prospectus is filed with the registrar of companies. Okay. The next one is allotment of bankers or brokers or underwriters. So the application money is to be received by bankers of the company. The brokers try to sell the shares. Okay, try to sell the shares by distributing the forms and encouraging the public to apply for the shares. If the company is not reasonably assured a good public response to the issue, it may appoint underwriters to the issue. Underwriters undertake to buy the shares if these are not subscribed by the public, so they receive a commission for underwriting the issue. An appointment of underwriters is not necessary. Okay, it is up to the company whether they want to appoint the underwriters or not. So next very important point is minimum subscription. It is very important. So minimum subscription. In order to prevent companies from commencing business with inadequate resource, it has been provided that the company must receive applications for a certain minimum number of shares before going ahead with the allotment of shares. According to the Companies Act, it is called minimum subscription. As per SEBI, Securities and Exchange Board of India guidelines, the limit of the minimum subscription is 90% of the size of the issue. Okay, hope you understood. Next one is application to stock exchange. So an application is made to at least one stock exchange for permission to deal in its shares or debentures. So when the company wanted to issue shares to the public, it is always through a stock exchange. The last one is allotment of shares. So till the time shares are allotted, application money received should remain in a separate bank account and must not be used by the company. In case the number of shares allotted is less than the numbers applied for, or where no shares are allotted to the applicant, the excess application money, if any, there is an excess application money, is to be returned to applicants or adjusted towards allotment money due from them. Okay, so these are the steps, or these are the different stages in the capital subscription. And the last topic in this chapter is one person company. Okay, so with the implementation of the Companies Act 2013, a single person could constitute a company. Under the one person company, it is also known in this way, OPC, one person company concept. So the introduction of OPC is in the legal system is a move that would encourage corporatization of micro business and entrepreneurship. One person company is a company with only one person as a member. That one person will be the shareholder of the company. It avails all the benefits of a private limited company, such as separate legal entity, protecting personal assets from business liability, and perpetual succession. All these are the features of a joint stock company. So here comes the characteristics or features of the one person company. Only a natural person who is an Indian citizen and resident in India shall be eligible to incorporate a one person company and shall be a nominee for the sole member of a one person company. Okay, so the one person company who is going to start one person company should be an Indian citizen and a resident in India. Next is, no person shall be eligible to incorporate more than a one person company or become nominee in more than one such company. So one person can be member in only one person company. Okay. Then, where a natural person being member in one person company in accordance with this rule becomes a member in another such company by virtue of his being a nominee in that one person company, such person shall meet the eligibility criteria specified in sub rule within a period of 180 days. 180 days. Next is, no minor shall become member or nominee of one person company or can hold shares with beneficial interest. So minor is not allowed. Such company cannot be incorporated or converted into a company under section 8 of the act. Next is, such company cannot carry out non-banking financial investment activities, including investment in securities of any body corporates. Okay. And the last one, seventh one, no such company can convert voluntarily into any kind of company unless 2 years have expired from the date of incorporation of one person company, except threshold limit, that is paid up share capital, is increased beyond 50 lakhs rupees or its average annual turnover during the relevant period exceeds 2 crore rupees. Okay. So this is about the one person company. Okay, that is a new term which is introduced in the new Companies Act 2013. So this is about uh, chapter 7, the formation of a company. Hope you have understood. Thank you.